Winston had just breached the limits of the business side of town, and he entered the more quiet streets of the suburbs. He rolled down his window and he filled his lungs with the cool night air. His large gut inflated, and it tested the strength of his belt as he inhaled. He was driving slightly above the speed limit, a luxury for the working man. He had been telling his wife that he had been getting stuck at the office as of late. Skipping the rush hour traffic was just a bonus. His nerves were giving him the shakes. He had noticed that he had been sweating profusely since he had first gotten into his new luxurious car, which he had treated himself to almost immediately after Rhonda, his beautiful 24-year-old secretary, had delivered the company's outstanding earnings report for the previous quarter. "She's going to know that I cheated," he muttered to himself in a panic. "She's going to ask where I was. I can't lie to her this time. I was gone for far longer than usual." He looked down upon the evidence that was tossed onto the floor in front of the passenger seat of his car. He had planned to dispose of it within the neighbor's trash can as an extra precaution. Oh, hell. She's even going to be able to smell it in my damn breath. She's going to know that I cheated. I promised her that after the last episode I was going to change. He slapped both of his pudgy hands onto the steering wheel. How can I be so weak? He lightly pounded his fist against his chest, and then he cleared his throat. "I have to come clean," he said in a cough. His chest was feeling constricted. He leaned his head out of the window, and he let the passing winds ripple his loose layers of skin like flags within the wind. He pulled his head back into the car as he stopped at a red light. He continued to pound his fist against his chest more forcefully as he repeatedly coughed. "She's going to find out eventually anyway, and trudging through hours of my terrible lives will only make it worse. I have to tell her. As soon as I get..." His chest tightened further. He cleared his throat, and he blinked several times. His vision blurred, and the green light became a faint green mist. He felt dizzy. He felt a frightening chill as he realized what was happening. "No, not again," he pleaded. He threw his car in the park, and then he stumbled onto the road as he was welcomed by the orchestra of beeping horns of the angry drivers who were stuck at his tail. He stumbled onto his knees as he called out for help. He crawled toward the car, which was immediately behind him. His large gut dragged along the pavement as he desperately crawled along until his heart pushed its final offensive, and it stopped him in his tracks. He leaned onto his left hand as he slapped his right hand against his chest, dug his fingers into his suit, and then twisted as if he was juicing an orange. His vision went black. His left arm gave out, and then Winston collapsed onto the pavement, dead. His wife was shortly notified by the police, and she was eventually tasked with retrieving his car. She rubbed the shiny black roof of the new car as she fought off the tears that pooled within the bottoms of her eyelids. She opened the door, and then she sat down. She rubbed the steering wheel as she thought of her beloved husband. She looked down at the ghostly remnants of Winston's smudged fingerprints upon the glazed wooden shifter knob. She dragged her fingers across the smooth leather of the passenger seat that she had never even gotten to sit in. And then she looked downward at the floor. Her heart sank as she picked up the fast food bags. "He cheated," she said. "He promised me that after his first heart attack he was never going to break his diet again. I can't believe that he cheated."